All right. So, if you've listened to my channel for a long time, and if you're new to the channel, thanks for listening. Hit subscribe down at the bottom. Here's the deal. I've been talking about minimum score for a long time, and for those of you that listen to my channel all the time, you know the deal. I try not to preach about it, but the deal is that in this tournament format, I really, to be honest with you, as far as like where I've been playing up to this point, rookie, and in the past I was playing in a rookie expert, so a rookie expert and a rookie masters, and where I'm seeing people end up and how tight the brackets are in the weekend round, I didn't see anything different this week. The only thing letting 75 people in, the minimum score getting into the weekend round, it was a little bit tighter to get into the weekend round. But once you got into the weekend round, the scores were pretty much what they've been in the past. But you're taking a bunch of people that shot minimum score, and so it's gonna be tougher to get to the weekend round. But once you make it to the weekend round, you got a pretty decent shot of getting up there. But shooting minimum score. So let's So we're going to do a precautionary tale. This is like for all of you that are TV fans. Where do we got, what do we have it on here? Urban Dictionary. You've been munsoned. To be up a creek without a paddle. To have the whole world in the palm of your hands and blow it. A figure of speech from the great movie Kingpin. So you don't want to get munsoned here. Or in my case, you don't want to get 77. So here's the deal. Minimum score. Let's talk about this tournament we're in right now that we just finished. So we just finished the stateside classic tournament. Let's check out the results. Came in 46th. Minimum score in this tournament, minus 24. Now, the way we got there was it was minus 12 is where we always start. And then we look at the holes, minus hole number 1, you had to get an eagle. It's a par 4, you had to get an eagle. That put us at minus 13. And then hole number 9 was one of those very rare holes in Golf Clash where it's a par 5 and the minimum score is a birdie and you're trying to get an eagle, where most par 5s, the minimum score is eagle and you're trying to get an Albie. And I was trying to put myself in Albie range, and I actually had a lot of success on hole number 9 this week, but that hole put us back down to minus 12. So minus 12 per side, minus 24 around. So that's the minimum score. So I shot the minimum score. Woo, yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. Shot the minimum score. Okay. Everything starts at the minimum score. So let's think about it. You got 18 holes to play. 18 of them. Now let's think about it. Let's do some math. Out of 18 holes in this tournament right here, my estimation going in this type of tournament, taking a look at the holes, is that in order to have any shot at a top 5 and any shot at a banner, I have to shoot a 28 or better, 28 plus. So that means that on the minimum score of 24, I got to pick up 4 shots. And I have 18 holes to get it done. So 25% of the shots that I took, if I could make 25%, that would be 4. And that would leave me some change. And I'd like to pick up 1 of those because that puts me at 29 and that separates it, right? I'll split the change with the waiter. But if we were 25% of our shots, if we could make 25% of our shots in 18 holes, we could pick up these 4 and put ourselves in a spot where we could have a shot at a win, right? So it all starts with the minimum score minus 24. So if you look at that right there, it doesn't look too bad. So let's see how I 77 myself. Okay, so we start off on hole number 1. We'll go through these hole by hole. Hole number 1, have to get an eagle. Absolutely, positively, mandatorily have to get an eagle. And it's a par 4. So that's picking up 1. So that means that there's 2 holes out of 18. So now we're back down to 16. That we're not going to pick up anything because we're already having to pick something up. So now we really need to get the 25%. So hole number 2 is a par 3, and I did not get the hole in 1 either time. Close, didn't get it. Hole number 3 is a par 5. Okay, all par 5s in the game except for a handful are eagle holes with an Albie opportunity. This hole right here there is an Albie shot, and it's hard to get to. But I got an eagle on the front, and then I dropped the shot, -1 on the back. that means on the minimum score, I just dropped a shot. Regardless, it doesn't. I will tell you right now. If you tell me, oh well, all these 18 holes, I can hit 9 of those holes. I could hit half of them. Great, excellent. Now, did you shoot the minimum score? Because if you shot the minimum score and you picked up 9, you are in a league of your own. Okay, that is smoking. That's awesome. That's exactly what you want to do. But if you look at your scorecard and you dropped any shots off the minimum score, it doesn't matter if you picked up any shots. Okay? The second that you drop a shot, you're in trouble. I mean, that's a 2-shot swing. And you gotta use one to cover it, and you would have been one ahead of that. I mean, that's it. That's brutal. You just can't recover from it. So I dropped one off the minimum score. So at this point, I'm in big trouble. Hole number 4, par 3. Had success on it at the beginning of the week, and it faded as the week went on based off of the variable winds. Hole number 5, par 4. We need to get, this is a tough hole to get an eagle on. And normally in one-on-one play, I never push the limit. I just go for, there's an easy layup to the left. I do the easy layup. I don't even try and do the dunk because it's too risky. I just throw the ball up onto the green, putt my way to birdie, move on to the next hole. I actually give up that hole in one-on-one because people fail on it so often. And I will tell you that the times that I've had a lot of success on that hole is when I did the same thing in tournaments, is where I went, hey, I'm not trying to get the eagle on this hole. Like if I get an eagle, I'm giving myself a shot at eagle, but it's not going to go in. And if it does, it's absolutely pure luck. And it can happen. But I dropped it both times. Dicking around. -1, -1. Now I'm 3 shots off the minimum. Okay? 3 shots off the minimum. So now we look at my -24 round, which was the minimum score. And we go, well, wait a second. You shot 3 shots off the minimum. You missed the minimum by 3 strokes. How did you get back to the minimum? All right, here we go. I got an Albie. Wasted that Albie. Got an Albie on 6. I've been on 6. That's the second Albie I hit on 6 this week. Ended up getting the eagle on the back. But what's the minimum score on that par 5? Eagle. So I got the minimum score. Hole 7, par 3, minimum score, birdie. Didn't have any luck at all on the par 3s. And I had luck during the week on the par 3s, just not any during the weekend round. Hole number 8, this par 4. I didn't have any luck at all on this par 4 all week. Didn't make the eagle on it. I think I might have once in practice. But minimum score is birdie, got a birdie. Okay, hole number 9, this par 5. It's a shootout layup, go to the green, try and get an eagle. If you don't get the eagle, you make the putt, make the birdie, and go home. So it's an eagle hole. It's a birdie hole with an eagle opportunity. I was trying to hit where I was going way in the hell out here and then trying to bring it around to the cup to try and make it. I actually got an eagle on it the last 4 times I played it. I put myself in a spot, but I did not at all have any even glance at Albie. But I do think it's possible to get yourself up there and put yourself in an Albie shot. It won't be high percentage, but it's possible. But I was able to pick up that eagle on both sides and picked up 2 shots, and that took care of those, and it put me right back to the minimum score. So, okay, this is how important minimum score is. So you look at it and it's like, okay, it's 3 shots. Look at your round. Now, your round could have gone another way, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But I'm imagining, though, that the majority of the people that are going to watch this video, if you look at your round, every time you shot on a hole and you didn't get the minimum score, you do this math, and you see how bad that kills your round. I mean, like, I know you're probably watching and going, well, duh, dude. But it's like putting all of this stuff and really analyzing your round, because when I started looking, I used to be at this spot right where I'm at right here. I was at the minimum score. That's a decent score. I shot 18 holes and I'm in 46th place. I was in this spot for a long time when I first started playing. And it dawned on me one day that, when I look at the holes and I add it up, I was the the minimum score. I picked up 3 shots there. So instead of coming in 46, that's where I would have came in if the 3 shots would have counted. If the 3 shots would have counted, I'd have come in with a 27. Let me write that down. 27. I think I had a 25, and I had 1 Albie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Eagles. And I came in with a 25 and a 12. Now let's see where I would have ended up with a 27. And I'm thinking that it took at least a 28 is what I was shooting for to try and give myself a top 5 or a shot at a win. Let's see if if it came out right. So 27 started 11th place. Let's see what the 11th place has. 27. They got an Albie in there, but their opening round was a 23, so I would have been higher than them. 10th place, I would have been higher than them. Hart, 9th. Cooney shot a 25 and a 13, so they would have had me. So I would have came in 9th. So the difference between 45th and 9th. Now, let's look at the prizes. I mean, let's just start there. 9th, 75 commons, 19 rares, 6 epics, 30 titans. Regardless of any of the points that you get for your clan. 270 points for your clan. 47K. The 30 titans. Right? Never know what to expect in chests. So let's go down and look where I'm at here and see what my one compared to that. What place did I come in? I think it was like 45th, right? 46th. 46th place. 15 quasars versus 30 titans. So when you think about the next tournament, and you're going to the next tournament, and I say titans are the king of balls, when you're playing a rookie and you're doing those top 10s, you're getting titans. And titans, there's so many holes that titans can get it done. Sometimes you have to use overpower with the titan, but there's a lot of stuff that you can get done with. They're not called the king of balls for nothing. And you can win them in rookie tournaments if you're up here, what is it, top 20? Top 25. But you're really starting to talk about replenishing your balls when you're in the top 10 and you're getting 30. So that's the difference between getting a pack that's going to set me up for the next tournament and set me up for success and give me some practice stuff and get me some clan points. 270 versus, man, that's probably nothing down here. 120, so twice as many clan points. And all that it would have taken for me to do that, amazing goal, is for me to just hang on to minimum score. Just go to the hole and play the minimum score. It's fairway to green. Fairway to green. Okay, the whole idea is to put yourself in a spot where you're teeing off here, and this spot right here is the perfect spot because right there's the cup, and you're going for, you want that angle at that distance, and that's the shot you've been practicing, and just doing one shot. This drive is nothing more than a layup. So these shots right here, I will say this front one, I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I tried to go, I jacked both of them up. This one I timed out. And that timeout right there led to a series. Like I actually had to scramble to get this hole. I clipped in the front and actually had to scramble to get up there in order to pick up the eagle. Had a pretty good shot here, and then I think I had to scramble here as well. So I had a rough round, but dropping the minimum score is what cost me a top 10. And it's just that simple. So if you look at your scorecard now if you look at your scorecard, so this can go one of two ways. If you look at your scorecard and you go, hey, I dropped 2 shots off the minimum, so you got 2 shots off the minimum, and then look where that would have put you with these brackets being as tight as they are. I mean, the minimum score here ran, let's just look, 56. So the top 56 people shot the minimum score or better. And this person came in with better than the minimum. So everybody in here is capable. The way that it went in the opening round, getting in here, the minimum score, there was people, if they hadn't expanded the field because of the glitches that they had this week, there was a lot of people that shot the minimum score that would not have made it because of tiebreakers in the qualifying round. And the qualifying round is now like a huge deal. Like you really want to make sure you get a good qualifying score. You need to, if you're one off, one above, just pick up one anything. It's a big deal. But none of that counts if you can't get the minimum score. So if we talk about minimum score is minus 24, we went from 56th to 33rd. So 33rd, 43rd, 53rd, 23 spots. So almost a quarter of the field shot the minimum score, the minimum score, and then we still have a third of the field that shot better than the minimum score. That's a pretty big. I mean, and now here's the deal with the qualifying round and the opening rounds. So these tiebreakers are huge because do you want to be number 46 in the 24s or do you want to be 33rd? Now let's see what they shot. They had a monster round in the opening round. I mean, that's the round that you want to shoot in the weekend round where you're just on fire. The wind's working for you and you're just on it. I don't normally like to shoot rounds like that in the opening round because I'm not one of those players that is on on all the time, and so I want to ramp up to it. So catching the round at the right time. That was a monster opening round. There's no way they would have been anywhere below the 24. So let's see if this person's immortal. That was a great opening round right there too. Let's see what they shot in the opening round. There was a lot of good, a lot of people picking up shots in the opening rounds and then couldn't back it up. They shot the minimum score and they just couldn't pick up shots. But let's look at one of these people. Let's just pick one and look at their opening round and see if they shot the minimum score that they were supposed to. And they picked up hole number 9 both times. That's why they got a 26. So they shot absolutely the minimum score and they held on to both of the shots that they picked up to get up to that slot. Let's look and see if anybody was able to recover. They picked up hole number 9 on the front. And that was the 1 point that separated them. This is the deal. Look at how many 25s there are. They go from 32nd to 22nd. So there's 10 25ths. 10th of the field just picked up one shot. Pick up one on each side. Starts at 21st. Goes down to 12th. So 9 people picked up one on each side. Let's just pick one of them here. Soul Crusher. Let's look at that round and see if they shot the minimum score and then what did they pick up? They picked up one they're supposed to. They did pick up the eagle on hole number 5 on the back. That's a tough eagle. And then they did pick up they picked up that par 4 on the back. That's another tough eagle. Picked up 2 tough eagles there on the back side. That's a great score. But they did not drop anything off the minimum score. Hey, the higher you get up here, you're going to see that these people didn't drop. You may get the lucky person that came back. They got pissed, and I've had that happen where I've dropped the shot off the minimum score and got pissed. Left the room, came back hours later, got on, and didn't care. Just went out and started slamming them down and got on a hot streak. It happens. Let's see what's at the top. Look at all the 27s. 27s went to 5th. So the top 5, 29, 3 28s, and a 27. So in this bracket, I was going for 28, and let's see where they were at. I actually would have had them. I'd be in fourth, and that's about. I do not deserve to get up to the top. I haven't put in the effort to get up to the top. But you can be sure that these people shot. You can see all of the holes that they picked up. They were on fire. Let's check out their wins. Sporting some killer trophies. Got some color. That's what I'm talking about. Congratulations to the top 3 in the bracket. Now, I have a teammate that was in here, and I know he kicked my butt because I literally shot the minimum score by dropping 3 shots. I got muncied. BP13 came in 32nd. Look at that. Picked up 1. Let's see how his round went. Minimum score straight across the board. Fantastic. And then picked up hole number 9 on the front. And that was his 1 extra. Held on to what he picked up. Gave himself a shot on 18 holes. He may have had to scramble. He or she may have had to scramble on a hole or 2 here and there, but they had 18 opportunities. They weren't going for the minimum score. They were going to put themselves in the spot that was the perfect spot to pick up 1 on the minimum score. They didn't quite make it. They did a short putt. Went on to the next hole. And you want 18 of those opportunities, but you have to start your round off at the minimum score. It is so important. If we want to work on any shots of trying to pick shots up and trying to get stuff dialed in and bring out the right clubs and all that, we have got to stabilize the minimum score. So, I mean, it's all on us, the player, so it's all on me. Those were holes that I've played 1,000 times. I know better. I know better. I know better because when I'm playing one-on-one, I don't play them that way, and I can play them in one-on-one with a Marlin, and I 90% of the time get a birdie, and I'm just dinking around. If I was in a tournament, I'd try and find a spot that was a little more consistent and set it up a little bit better, or bring out a quasar or something and just do the deal. But no, I go out there and I bring out a big ball and try and go for it, trying to put myself in a perfect spot to get an eagle. The deal is it's super dangerous to try and get in that perfect spot. And boom, smacked up aside the face. All right, that was a tirade about minimum score. I appreciate anybody who stayed to the end of this video, but and I'm sure that if you don't play in tournaments and you're just starting, this is where it all starts. I mean, the thing is don't go out and try and get, if you've got a lower level account that's got lower level stuff, don't go out and try and pick up shots. Just go out there and shoot the minimum score. And what you'll find is that there's 5, 6, 7 holes in each tournament. 5, 6, 8 holes in every tournament where it doesn't matter whether you've got lower level stuff or upper level stuff. You're coming on one of those par 3s with a navigator, and you just need a club that's got ball guide. So you've got your Kingfisher, or you've got a really accurate club that you can take that shot with, and you have just as good a chance as it won't matter what they have in their bag. So there are holes like that out there that you can get up one. But if you're brand new, don't worry about trying to pick up all these shots. Just go out there and focus on the minimum score. And when the minimum score is just like, hey, I'm just out, I'm hitting fairway to green, fairway to, whoa, wait a second, okay, I'm going to make sure that I really take my time and set that green shot up, because this is the money shot. The rest of this stuff was just a delivery system to get me to that spot. That it will drastically change your rounds. And I mean, my round right here is just a prime example. I mean, I'll be the guinea pig here. I shot minimum score. I picked up 3 shots and couldn't hold on to minimum score. I mean, that's pathetic. So for those of you out there who are starting to play and I will tell you what I'm amazed about on the channel is players that have listened to me for a long time that are so much better players than me now. I hope that I helped, get them started on the deal. And if you're new, I can do the same thing. I mean, the whole deal is it's just kind of an exploration process, and there's tons of information out there, but just having basic understanding about what you need to do in order to succeed in these tournaments. And it all starts as in the stateside classic tournament, with a simple minus 24. But how we get that minus 24 is super important. All right. Thanks for watching.